For those that don't know, I've been flying Armattan frames since I began this hobby over 2 years ago. I started with the Rooster, then I went to the Chameleon TI, the Marmot, and then finally the Badger, which is what I use in all my 5-inch builds today. But T-Motor contacted me and asked if I wanted to test their FT5 frame, and I wasn't really interested in changing. I haven't had any problems with Armattan frames to date, but I did think it would be a good idea to use it as an excuse to kind of like test what else is out there and try something different. So a few weeks later, this arrived on my doorstep, and I was expecting a frame, but what they sent me was what they call a 65% build, which basically translates to everything except the VTX camera and receiver. So all the electronics and the motors are all there and ready. So I've put a Caddx Vista in this and a Crossfire Nano as well for the receiver, and the rest has been provided by T-Motor. So thank you very much for that. It's a standard coffin style frame, similar to the Apex or like the Astro X or something like that, but it does have a couple of things that make it a little bit different. The first is the top plate is separated into 3 sections. One for the VTX at the back, one for the camera at the front, and then one for the stack in the middle. And the middle one you can take out just by using these 2 countersunk screws, which is really cool if you are like out and you, I don't know, you do something like you pop a solder joint or something on your stack. It's really easy to get to. It's just 2 screws and then you're in to the stack in the middle. When you take the top plate off, you can see how they've done it. They've kind of got these braces across the middle standoffs. That's really cool because that gives them like 3 screw holes. So the outside 2 are used for the outside bits of the plate and the inside 2 are used for the middle bit. So the stack that T-Motor provided was an F7 flight controller, and this is a weird one actually. I couldn't find this particular flight controller anywhere online. I don't know if it was just an unreleased one or just what they had lying around, but it couldn't find a pinout for it anywhere, which made this little bit on the bottom a little bit interesting because there is actually a plug at the bottom here, and this is labeled DJI Air unit. So I was like, oh cool, maybe I can use that. But it is 7 pins, and the Air unit and the Vista take 6. So I wasn't really sure what the pinout was on that or which ones I was meant to wire it up to. So I didn't want to risk it because I couldn't find any diagrams online. So I just directly soldered it to the board. Underneath that, there's a Pacer 50 amp ESC. On the outside, the motors are the Velox 2306 1950 kV, which is a really high kV for 6S. So I think that's going to be quite good fun. Another thing that is new to me, I haven't seen on a frame before, but yeah, I haven't seen a lot of frames outside of Armattan, but the way the XT60 is mounted at the back, it's kind of like hard mounted into this section between the standoffs at the back. So that's screwed in, so that's really, really secure. It means you're very unlikely to break this XT60 plug, because I quite often break those, so that could be quite nice. We'll see. Other than that though, it's really nice looking. I like the color scheme they've gone for. I like that everything matches and it's all orange. So, you know, I'm kind of into that sort of thing. On the bottom, we've got these motor protectors. They look kind of like skids, but they're TPU, so they won't be skidding around. They're just landing gears really. It came completely not configured at all. It was just set to Betaflight 4.2.1. It was just a factory flashed Betaflight. And yeah, I don't really use Betaflight, so I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing half the time. I've put RPM filtering on because I think that's supposed to be good. I tweaked some of the sliders on the filtering, but basically it's probably not going to fly as I expect it because I'm used to KISS, but I'm willing to give it a go and I'm quite excited to try it. The weight of the frame seems to come in at 729 grams with the Hero 7 Black and a 1100 milliamp 6S battery. That is a couple of grams heavier than my Badger with the Vista. So, but it's negligible. It's basically exactly the same. I do use quite a bit of aluminium hardware on my Badger builds, so maybe this could actually be shaved down a little bit more and could come in a little bit lighter. But yeah, it's not a light frame, it's not a heavy frame. All right, there's not a lot else to say about this. The FT5, it looks solid. We'll go and fly it tomorrow and check it out. Maybe get a durability test by accident, you never know. But one thing I did notice in terms of durability was the camera protrudes from the front quite a bit. This is the DJI camera, so it's like a 20mm camera, I think, or 19. It's not quite a micro, somewhere between a micro and a mini. But yeah, that does stick out a bit. So I've put one of these ridiculous protectors on just to give it a fighting chance if it hits a pole or something. Yeah, there was plenty of room inside. The mounting options for the Vista were great. I think any old VTX will fit in the back, no problem. Yeah, I think it looks great. We'll just have to see how it performs in the field. Right, we've come to the Brickworks in Stewartby to test the T-Motor FT5 frame. I've chosen this place because I flew it quite recently, a week or so ago, with my Armattan, so I kind of know what to expect here. And yeah, let's give it a rip and see what it feels like. The thing I'm actually more excited about is the fact it's Betaflight 4.2, which I haven't tried yet, so that might be quite interesting. This feels really good. Oh shit. Well, they definitely improved Betaflight in 4.2 then, that's for sure. This ain't so bad. It feels very snappy though. That might be the feed forward thing that you're talking about. So what about this frame? What can we say about the frame? It's about 45 quid, I think, at retail, so it's not exactly an expensive frame. Pretty good. I think my camera angle's a little bit too low. I keep looking at the floor a bit too much. What was that? Was that a pigeon? I thought it was your little toothpick. So what I did for the tuning is I just put up, there was a slider for P and D. I did one thing, there was like a P and D multiplier, and I put it to 1.5. But apart from that, it was stuck, just RPM filtering on. And damn, it's actually not too bad at all. I do get this feeling that it's a little bit more like hyperactive than Kiss. Kiss sort of feels like it's a little bit softer. But yeah, again, that could be feed forward or whatever that secret setting is that no one knows what it does. But yeah, I'm not doing anything too crazy. These motors are super poppy though. 1950 kV, it's a lot more punch than I'm used to. It's kind of fun. T-Motor actually sent me some 4943 propellers with this, which is their new Blackbird freestyle propellers that I guess are supposed to be used with this, but I already used them before testing this quad and they were really nice. I really like them. But right now we got the Johnny props on, which are 4838, so they're probably quite similar. It does seem to handle really nicely. Oops. Well, that was interesting. The video froze before I crashed, and the video's gone completely now. Everything pretty much survived that little bump. Don't know what happened to the video though. It froze and then turned off. GoPro froze though, so half of that might have to be DVR, but we'll see. Don't really know how serious the crash was because the video, as I say, cut out, so I couldn't really tell. Might have killed my GoPro though.
Really?
Come on. Come on. Doesn't look good.
Take it out for 10 seconds.
10 seconds. Okay. Cross your fingers. Ooh. It wasn't even that hard. It didn't sound hard.
It wasn't a big crash. It wasn't big. You hit it really square as well.
Right.
Really square into the bar.
Yeah.
It came straight down.
I don't know how the video knew I was going to crash. Because it froze and then I heard the noise. I was like, what? Oh. So that's not really T-Motor's fault, but that could have been a broken GoPro. Can't blame the frame on that one though. Might have to try the old twat the corner. Oh man.
He's done that before it worked.
So there was a capacitor in the bottom there, and that's somehow like gone inside, and it's knocked the pin from the Vista out that connects the camera. We can fix it though. Let's go for round two. I think the thing that's throwing me off is just the higher kV. It's nothing to do with Betaflight. If we're reviewing the frame alone, I mean, it's kind of difficult to really call it. So much has changed from my normal setup, but it feels very sturdy, like very stiff. There's no vibrations at all. nimble as hell, these motors. They really scream, these motors. Whoopsie! Okay, I'm getting a feel for it though, man. I guess Betaflight does make everything cheaper. Feels like it was a better test this time. Alright, that was sick. It feels great. I have absolutely no complaints with that. Bit too much pop, but just lower the kV of the motors and that would fly just as good as my normal quads, I think. We're going to do something for science, and I hope nobody is angry about me potentially wrecking perfectly good gear, because this is just, we need to know. We need to know how durable this frame is. So I've taken the GoPro off and we're going to deliberately sort of try and fly it at like a medium speed into a wall to sort of simulate a couple of real life crashes. Because this is a frame review after all, and the most important thing about the frame is the durability. So if you are squeamish, look away now. We can put the GoPro actually on the little wall bit there. Yeah.
On.
That was a hell of a whack. I hope we got some of that in the high speed, but in terms of the damage on the frame, it's basically nothing. The right arm took, I think, all of the impact because the motor on the right arm is completely seized up, but the frame is absolutely spotless. Not a scratch on the carbon at all. No signs of any fractures or any kind of cracks on any stress points. So yeah, looks like it is a solid little thing. Okay, so that was my first impressions of the T-Motor FT5. I am going to keep this and I'm going to keep flying it. I might change the internals to my normal stack, like the KISS and the FetTech stuff, but I think that even with the Betaflight stuff, it was flying really good. So no problems with the frame. Durability, it held up really quite amazingly from that crash that we gave it. So that's a solid recommendation for me. If you are interested in buying one for yourself, I think it's £45 or whatever the equivalent of that is in your currency, and I'll leave a couple of links down in the description to where you can get one. Not affiliate links or anything, just for your information. For those that are interested in the competition I'm running, I am giving away one of my full 6S builds. This is all built to the spec that I fly, so it's got a load of great components in. I'll leave a link in this corner. I'll put a little card in for where you can leave a comment on that, because the next video is when I am going to announce the winner of this. So only a couple of weeks left to enter. One thing I haven't done for a couple of videos, but I quite enjoyed doing, was just to take a look at some of the comments on the previous video. That was the one where I tested a whole bunch of really random props. So let's have a look at what you've been asking. Sharon Kumahagi asks, very interesting, could you also list your quad setup, like frame, batteries, motors, or other pre-3D printed parts? Yeah, there's a video where I go through my whole setup in detail and all the PIDs and rates and everything, and it's the same one as the competition link. So yeah, put it up here in that corner again so you can enter and maybe win one. Silverwing asks, what would your opinion be on the Gemfan Hurricanes? I have yet to find anything that performs better and also gives such power. I think you're talking about the 5146.6 and the 5143.3s. They are the sort of the Hurricane ones that came out earlier this year, I think. If that is the case, then I have tried the 5143.3s and I think they are brilliant. They are really powerful and they are really, really efficient. So you do get long flight times, but they are just like a tiny bit too powerful for my liking. I prefer a bit of a lower pitch than that. But if you do more fast freestyle than proximity stuff, then they're definitely one to go for. And they come in pink, which looks real nice on my quad. And that brings us to the end of this video. So thank you very much to all of you for getting this far. If you watched the whole thing, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all those good YouTube social things. And I will see you in the next one in a couple of weeks. Take care. There's a sound of like a lost buzzer on the roof. So I think someone's lost their quad here before.
Yes, sorry.
But we tried to fly up it and couldn't find it. So if you were flying here the day before yesterday, whatever day that is, and you lost your quad, it's still here. It's still buzzing away.